We just saw Cake, and on this show, I take my friends, we go see a movie, we review it in the car, and then we have a discussion. The review part is spoiler-free, so if you're looking for a recommendation, you can watch that, find out if we recommend this movie to you. And the discussion part has spoilers in it, so if you've seen the movie before or don't care to and just want to know everything we thought about, you can watch that part and find out. Cake is probably best known as the movie that no one had really heard of, but it was getting some buzz that Jennifer Aniston might get an Oscar nomination for it. That's really most of what I heard before seeing it or hearing about it coming out, and I'm pretty sure that that's the reason it got a wider release now. The movie came out last year, and we're just now getting it in, it's late January. So she's suffering from chronic pain, and there's some other things that have happened in her past, or the reason that she's in chronic pain, they eventually start explaining what happened to her a little bit. But it's mostly about how she deals with it, dealing with her addiction to pain medication, the way that she treats people around her, how she tries to cope with her life. And it is a strong performance from Jennifer Aniston. The story is good. The direction is very good. I really like the way that it's shot and directed. It has a quality up to it that's sort of dreamlike and fantastical. Not that there is a lot of dream sequences and or her speaking to Anna Kendrick, who is dead. Anna Kendrick committed suicide before the movie begins. Her character committed suicide before the movie begins. And for some reason, before I saw the movie, I thought that Anna Kendrick was supposed to be her daughter, but that's not the case. She's just someone that she knows. So she shows up every once in a while. But when I say it has kind of a dreamlike quality to it, there's an overall arc to the story, and there's her dealing with what she's going through and figuring out how to move on with her life, or whether she wants to move on with her life. And it's done in a way that the scenes sort of go in directions that you don't necessarily expect. It's not, the music doesn't swell and she figures everything out, or that sort of a thing. There's just a lot of different things that she's responding to and reacting to. As far as who I would recommend it to, so, I mean, if you're wanting to see Jennifer Aniston do something different than what she's done before, yes, that's definitely true about the movie. If you're a fan of Jennifer Aniston, I don't know that you'd like it necessarily, because I don't know how much of what you like about Jennifer Aniston is her comedy. She definitely has the sarcasm and the delivery here that she normally would have, but the character is much more broken and the story is much more serious. And I don't know if it's a movie I would tell people to just rush out and go see, because some of the things that it deals with it's going to be hard for some people. Watching a movie about characters that have committed suicide, watching a movie about people dealing with the loss of their children, it's not the feel-bad movie of the year, but it's not particularly a happy thing to go through. And if any of those things have happened to you in your real life, or you can really empathize with those things, sometimes it's a little too close to home. So I would say watch it with that amount of warning, and maybe it's something to check out on VOD or check out on home video, where if you get overwhelmed by it, you can stop it, or if you need to take a couple of times to watch it, a couple of sittings to get through it. it's there for you. I think it's a really well done movie. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the performances. It's not an easy movie for me to recommend. It's not an easy movie for me to sort of pigeonhole. These people would like it and these people wouldn't. I think it has a lot to do with the mood that you're in and what you're comfortable with. So that's what I thought. What'd you guys think?
I actually enjoyed the movie. I was surprised that Jennifer Aniston had a film where she wasn't playing the quirky girl next door.
Mm-hmm.
I think she had a darker character, but it showed her actual performance skills that she, I guess, says that she possesses. Mm-hmm. But I actually enjoyed it. I feel like it's a movie that if you're at home or want a good movie to think about, something deep and get lost in, then that would be the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a, Friday night, date night movie or something.
Oh, no.
Something where you're looking for a good laugh, but I think the performances were really well and the cast excellent. So
yeah,
I liked it overall.
Yeah, it's a better movie than Horrible Bosses 2 by a long shot, but it's not as much fun as Horrible Bosses 2, if that makes sense. Like,
mm-hmm.
I loved it. I thought her performance was fantastic. I now see why everybody was kind of mad that she didn't get an Oscar nomination. There were a few things that were brought into the story that never had a payoff, and that bothered me. But overall, I thought her story was well done, and as such, the movie was great. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody that was just like, I really want to be entertained tonight.
mm-hmm.
Not going to happen. It's one of those that you want to sit and think about.
Yeah.
So. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not Lars von Trier either. It's not like depressing and soul crushing or anything like that.
It's not Melancholia, but
right. So, anyway, that's our review. If that sounds like a movie you want to check out, please stop watching and go check it out. Don't let us spoil anything for you. There were some things that I think, you're talking about there's some things that don't pay off or there's different sequences, and you weren't sure necessarily what happened by the end of the movie. I think there's a lot of stuff in there that would reward a repeat watching. Like if you saw it again, you'd pick up on some more things that happen in it, because it is very subtle in the way that it tells you the backstory or tells you what else is going on around the immediate part of the scene. And a lot of that stuff too is that I think it's a really smart move. It doesn't want to tell you the story of the tragedy. It wants to tell you the story of how she deals with it, how she lives with it.
Yeah. I think there are parts where I wanted them to say, this happened, her son died in the accident, or this was the person who killed him. I mean, when he showed up, it was just, William H. Macy?
William H. Macy, yeah.
Showed up, it was something where he just showed up at the house and said that I wanted to say I'm sorry, I wanted to say more, but it was a real subtle, and it was like, what do you want to say? That could have gone so many different ways. I guess it's kind of a movie where you can draw your own conclusion.
It's true.
And you're not going to be wrong.
Yeah, and he said I wanted to say more to you, but my lawyers wouldn't let me. And her character is also a lawyer, and my impression was that he caused the accident, like that he was a drunk driver, and that because she beats on him and kicks him out of the house, and you get the feeling that if the housekeeper and the guy weren't there, that she would just beat William H. Macy, and he would just kind of let her because he seemed to be in a pretty miserable place too.
But see, that's kind of another thing that bothered me is, did they only have William H. Macy for 40 minutes or something? Because
it was a quick scene.
That scene lasts all of a minute and a half.
But that's what I mean about that's not the point of the movie. You're
You're not to know about the loss, how it happened.
He's not there to teach you. He's not there to tell you what happened. He's there to be a bad reminder to the character and shatter what was otherwise she was having a really good day up until that point. And then he showed up and reminded her of what went wrong. There's the scene where they bring the hitchhiker home, and she's sort of in a good place, and they're both sort of teasing her about, how, you're going to make all these mistakes and it's going to be great and hooray. And then there's a painting or a picture on the wall of herself and her son that just kind of breaks her down again. And she has a lot of those sort of scenes where she's either too drugged out to deal with her life, or she's trying to deal with her life and something reminds her of what happened, and she just can't do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was a good movie. It
was very well done. I would have liked them to expand on a couple ideas that they have in the movie, like the introduction of the Mexican housekeeper's family.
Understand their struggle a little bit more.
Well, it goes nowhere.
What did you...
Like, why the daughter's so angry.
Well, I understand why the daughter is so angry. It was just like, I would have liked a little bit more resolution in that. Like, why did you introduce her family at all if you're not going to go back to him at some point?
I mean, what I thought the point of that scene was to show that this is a person who is really compassionate, really cares about this other character.
She's devoted.
And that she's devoted to her employer / friend, but she's not like without a family. She's not just like this single woman that lives somewhere in the neighborhood and comes over and takes care of her. It's like, no, she's actually like leaving her family every morning and coming and taking care of Jennifer Aniston's character.
But you knew that beforehand, because
from
she tells her, she's like, here's some money, go home and be with your family, go take care of your family.
But we don't get to see what that means until that scene happens. Mm-hmm. And then you see, she's got her daughter who's a nurse and has kind of a chip on her shoulder about how much time she spends with Jennifer Aniston's character. And then that also leads into the scene where they run into the housekeeper's friends in Tijuana, and they basically make fun of her for the fact that her daughter became a nurse. Like, she's not married and she's a nurse. That's what happens to you when you move to America. So yeah, that kind of stuff, it makes sense to set those things up. And it's like they could have spent more time developing Nina's husband and son, but those are all peripheral characters. It's about how they affect her. It's not about their story.
Yeah.
And I think if you go in that direction too far, you end up with
too much.
Yeah, or you end up with something like St. Vincent, which comes off as being, more of a, she met this guy and then it turned her life around and everything's happy again. Everything's good again.
I'd like to see it again, just to see parts that I missed.
Yeah.
For sure.
It was definitely good enough for another watch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a thinker. Well, that was Cake. If you liked the video, please like us, subscribe to us. Check out our Patreon page. We do all kinds of exclusive content there, and all of our written and video movie reviews go up every week at DaleMaxfield.com. Thanks for watching.